Alrighty, hello everyone, Mr. 47 here, and welcome back to another Skylanders Collection update video thing. Now, I know I did one of these back in July, but I made quite a few additions to the collection, and we're just going to show you the entire collection here. What we still need, and how rough we think it's going to take before everything is collected. So, without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to get our Spyro alarm clock up here, and he's going to guard all the Skylanders. So, without further ado, let's begin. Woo! Alrighty, we're starting off with the first game in the series, Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. I apologize if the lighting isn't too good. I don't really have a... I know it can help. There we go. Ha-ha. There we are. Alright, so, this is the very first game in the series, released in 2011. Thank you, Toys for Bob. And yeah, there are 32 base set figures, and I have them all. 4 for each element: air, water, earth, life, tech, undead, fire, and magic. So yeah, all 32 base set figures. Oh, I guess I fell halfway through there. But, however, moving on to the base set figures, if there were just 32, of course, I wouldn't be making this video. But moving on, we have 13 out of 13 magic items. Now, these items either gave you different levels, which are these 4 back here, or they gave you buffs through the game, as these 8 right here. This one is a little bit weird. This would give you a new arena. I'm hoping it focuses. Come on. Focus. Oh, that's zoom. Whoops. Still trying to figure out a new camera, by the way. Focus. Focus. Okay, it's not going to focus. But it's got some cool markings on it there. And this is 13 out of 13 magic items. Now this little guy is the most expensive item for Spyro's Adventure, coming in at around 80 to 90 bucks. I was lucky to get one when I did. I also don't think it was released in America, so it was a very lucky find when I did find it. But that is 13 out of 13 magic items. Alright, and finally, moving on to the character variants. These are the in-game variants, not the other variants, which we'll talk about in a second. But they made 4 legendary figures of 4 Skylanders: Trigger Happy, Chop Chop, Spyro, and Dash. And they also made mini characters off of certain characters, such as Whisper Elf for Stealth Elf, Terabyte for Terrafin, Trigger Snappy for Trigger Happy, and Gil Runt off of Gil Grunt. They also made a dark version of Spyro, released in the 3DS starter pack. And these are in-game variants that will show up in-game. Now, there are different variants, and we'll get to that in a second. But as of today, my base set Spyro's Adventure, I can't talk, set is complete. Alright, and we're going to move on to the next game in just a moment. Alright, and this is an example of a chase variant. It is a all green version of Gil Grunt. And we're going to talk about this guy before we move on to Skylanders Giants. Now, we call these chase variants, as they are different variants of the figures, but they do not appear like this in the game. They'll just appear like normal Gil Grunt, with a little text that says that he's a special version or a unique version or something like that. I don't remember. Now, this is the only chase variant I have for Spyro's Adventure. There are, I believe, a little over, I want to say 20, but I'd have to look that up. Now, these are special because they were not released. These were released at random. They weren't advertised. They were either thrown into different packages and shipped off to the store, so you had no guarantee they were coming, or they were going to be in that location. or they were given out to employees as like holiday gifts, or they were... Wow, it does not like to focus. I'm going to try to get that fixed before we do giants, but if I put them far away, you can see them a little bit better. Zoom. Zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, that's not... Still trying to figure out the new camera, guys. Sorry. I'm not recording this on my phone, so the camera's a little bit different. But, yeah, I am choosing not to collect these, as I am really only going for these ones that were released and show up as that in the game. So, this Chase variant, if you guys do want to own it, I believe he was released in Xbox starter packs. So he's a little bit more common, only like 10, maybe 15 bucks, but, you know, he is more common than others, Chase variants, so, yeah. So, we're just gonna put him to the side, and, we'll move right on to Giants. Alright, we're moving on to the sequel to Spyro's Adventure, which is Skylanders Giants. And I'm going to show you guys off these. So Skylanders Giants released in 2012 after the resounding success of Spyro's Adventure. They released Skylanders Giants, where they introduced new gimmicks into the fray of stuff they could do. And what was the gimmick for Skylanders Giants? Skylanders. But big. This is like twice, or 2 or 3 times the size of regular Skylanders, so they're a bit bigger in there. This is not the only thing the Giants introduces, but we will go over them as their section comes. But there was one giant for each element. Air got Swarm, Water got Thumpback, Earth got Crusher, Life got T-Rex, Tech got Bouncer, Undead got Eyebrawl, Fire got Hothead, and Magic got Ninjini. So I have all 8 sitting right there in front of me. Alright, from here on out, the Skylanders are going to... The basic Skylanders, there's always going to be a gimmick Skylander and we're going to call them cores from here. So... Alright. So anyway, introduced into Skylanders Giants are 8 new core figures. Again, one for each element. Air we have Jetpack. Water we have Chill. These are actually 2 different chills here. I will explain the difference between the 2. Flashwing for Earth. Shroom Boom for Life. Tech is Sprocket, Fright Rider for Undead, Hot Dog for Fire, and Pop Fizz for Mech. Now I will explain the difference between the different chills. I actually grabbed the wrong chill. I'm going to light that for a second. This is a different chill for a little bit later. These are the 2 chills I'm talking about. The Giants are just over here, just monitoring. So these chills, and the camera isn't probably going to pick up the difference between the 2. These are the exact same figure. They both do the exact same things in-game. Blah, blah, blah. You know. The only difference is the lips color. And the camera probably is going to pick this up. This chill has blue lips. And this chill has purple. Now, it's unknown why they have 2 different colors. Why one is blue and one's purple. The theory is that 2 different factories made them, and the memo was never brought over that one. They either, I'm not sure which is which, I'm pretty sure it's blue, but they just used purple in one factory and blue in another, so I still count them as the same figure, but I do have both just in case. Alright, moving on to the next category. Alright, you guys might be thinking to yourselves, well, if they have brought 8 new characters, what did they do for the rest of the roster? They can't have left it that empty that it's only 8 new figures, and you'd be right. Except they did in a, not lazy way, but a weird way. They brought back 24 of the original 32 to fill out the rest of the Element roster. Bringing back most, but missing one from each element. For air, they missed Tornado. Water, they missed... Oh gosh, I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. Forgive me. Not sure who they forgot for that. For life, they forgot the left out. I'm too good with this. I should know this off the top of my head. 1 second, folks. I'm actually going to look real quick. Okay, they left Whamshell out of water. Earth, they left. Of course, I can't do too much. Okay, of course. Okay. 1 second. Using 2 hands here. 1 to hold the camera, 1 to do what I'm doing. But, okay, I'm gonna try to do this. Alright, sorry for the light. For Tech, they left out Boomer. Undead, they left out... Should be sitting over there. I have some... Ghost Roaster. Magic, they left out Voodooed. Fire, they left out Sunburn. Sunbird, unfortunately, would not get another figure. So the one for Spire's Adventure is all that there is. And forgive me, I don't remember who they left out of Earth and who they left out of Life. So I do apologize there. But I do have all 24 of the Series 2, if you will, characters. Alright, so there is a bit of a debate here going on in the community. And I think it's been mostly resolved on what the other one is. But this is Series 2, Double Trouble. This is a good point to bring this up. Now you guys may be thinking how you can tell they're Giants figures is Spire's Adventure had green bottoms, Giants had orange. The rest of the games have different colored bottoms except for Imaginators and Superchargers. But you guys may be saying, Pack, my Double Trouble doesn't look like that. My Double Trouble looks like this. Looks like Series 1 Double Trouble, but it has an orange bottom. I don't know what happened here. This is not a unique thing. This is a widespread thing where Double Trouble actually got 2 variants. Again, they both work the same in the game, they just have different statues. I believe this Double Trouble, probably what happened, they still had a lot of leftover Series 1 Double Troubles and just coded him for Giants, leaving this one as a chase variant, and he's dubbed Series 1.5 Double Trouble. See, he's holding my finger there. He's a real nice guy, but he will not be counted towards the grand total. Yeah, any chase variant will not be counted towards the grand total of the collection. We're only going off base figures and stuff like that. Alright, on to the next category. Alright, apologize here, folks. I apologize in advance here. This is where the collection starts to get broken up a little bit. We're moving on to the light core figures. Now this is a new thing Giants introduced as well, with figures you could place on the portal, and they would light up, hence the name Light Core. They did 8 core figures, and all the Giants do them. I did forget to mention that. So for Light Cores, I am missing one, unfortunately, but we have Light Core Jetpack, Light Core Chill, Light Core Prison Break, Light Core Shroom Boom, Light Core Drobot, Light Core Hex, and Light Core Eruptor, with Light Core Pop Fizz being the one I am missing, unfortunately. Light Core Pop Fizz is also one of the more expensive ones, so what are you gonna do, right? Anyway, moving on. Alright, for magic items, Giants strays a little bit from Spyro's Adventure, as in with Spyro's Adventure having 13, obviously. Giants only has 4. I don't know the name of this one. It's, I think, the Scorpion Catapult, 2 Dragonfire Cannons. All these items are light cores, except for the 4th one, with the Dragonfire Cannon and the Golden Dragonfire Cannon, and the Platinum Treasure Chest. Fun fact about this little guy, he was not programmed right in the game, so his chip does not read what the item is, but it is that item. So anyway, 4 out of 4, we're doing pretty good. Alright, we're on to the variants, and again, apologies, this is where the collection is also broken up a bit. We have 12, right? 12 out of 18 variant Skylanders. Now, this game obviously strays away from the just minis and just legendaries, as we have different variants of different characters up there. I am missing Granite Crusher, Jade Flashwing, I'm going off a list by the way, Legendary Light Core Shield, who is a bit up there in cost, unfortunately. Solar Whirlwind, Royal Double Trouble, who is the most expensive figure from this game, and Mini Ginny. But once I get those 6, this category will be complete. Alrighty, and with that being said and done and out of the way, we're going to be moving on to the 3rd game in this series, Swap Force. Alright, before we move on to the, I know it's probably the 4th time I've said we're going to move on to the next game, but real quick before we do, I realized I should have showed you guys the figures lighting up. So there, I have a portal on right now. This is my Skylander. Me and my buddy are doing a Nuzlocke. If you guys don't know what that is, you go through the game and try not to die for the whole time, so pretty cool. So here is what Crusher looks like on the portal. See his eyes and his thing light up there, so yeah, pretty cool. Anyway, now for real, on to the next game. Alrighty. Following the success of Skylanders Giants in 2012, the Activision, or Toys for Bob, would hand over the development of Skylanders for this next game to Vicarious Visions. They're the people who made the Crash Bandicoot and Insane Trilogy remake, if you will. But they did Skylanders first, so that's pretty cool. So moving on, we have probably the best gimmick in any Skylanders games. Dun dun dun! The Swap Force. Skylanders Swap Force released in 2013, and is one of the best Skylanders games, or one of the most iconic Skylanders games to this day, sorry. Hold the camera with one hand, the light with the other, so it's a little awkward. With the most well-known gimmick. You could take your Skylanders and swap them with tops and halves of other Skylanders, so I'll just take the break Gorilla in half, and I'll break Stink Bomb in half. And you can swap them, and that's how they'll appear in the game. So yeah, it is probably the most well-known mechanic in any Skylanders games. But yeah, there are 16 swappers, 2 for each element. Oh, sorry. Should probably get the light on that. 2 for each element, and I do have all 16 swapperinos. So yeah, moving on. Alright, so Swap Force also had 16 brand spanking new Skylanders. Again, 2 for each element. And for the most part, each of the first 3 games had 32 core characters. But these are the Series 1 cores. We got Scratch Popthorn, Punkshop Riptide, Scorp, and Slobbertooth, I want to say. Bumble Blast, Zulu, Wind Up and Countdown, Grim Creeper, Roller Brawl, sorry. This is not my most well-known game. Smolder Dash, Frino, and Starstrike and Doombug. So I'm more familiar with the Swap Force roster. Swap Force was probably one of the last games I got into, but anyway, I have 16 out of 16 of this Series 1. Alright, and we got 16 returning characters. Some of them are Series 3 because they were brought back. For Series 3, some were from Series 2, so whatever little Skylanders were brought back from Spyro's Adventure, there are even less of them now, but there are 16 out of 16 returning Skylanders. Alrighty, for Light Cores, they brought those back again. This is the last game, unfortunately, they would do the whole, like, a dedicated Light Core section. They have one for each element: Tornado, Whamshell, Flashwing, Bumble Blast, Countdown, Grim Creeper, Smolder Dash, and Starstrike. But there are 8 of them, and I do, fortunately, have all 8. Alright then, much like Giants, this is where the collection starts to fall apart again, as there are 9 magic items for Spyro's Adventure. I unfortunately only have 8. The Fiery Forge, Tower of Time, Archean Crossbow, Sheepwreck Island, Groove Machine, Sky Diamond, Platinum Sheep, and the Battle Hammer, I want to say. There is one more. It is a cardboard. It's a little card made out of cardboard, obviously. That was a stupid explanation, and it is for a hack in the game. That was only given out for certain pre-orders, so it is very tough to find. But hopefully one day I will find it. But there are 9. I have 8. Moving on to, I believe, the variants. Let's do this. Alright, and to finish off Swap Force with the variants. So there are in total 19 variants. Gotta step back a little bit. I only unfortunately have 18 of them. I'm missing Quick Draw Rattleshake. But there were Dark, Legendary, they did a Easter, Springtime, Trigger Happy, lots of cool, the new Nitro ones, Jade Firecrack, I'm trying to name out, Enchanted ones, Jolly Bumble Blast for Christmas, a lot of unique, Volcanic Eruptor, very unique variants. But unfortunately, I am missing just one, leaving Swap Force only 2 items away from being collected. In total, I'm missing 7 from Giant so far and 2 from Swap Force. But how will that change with Trap Team? Oh, I can't hold the camera right, apparently. We'll find out in a second. Alright, and following, I know this is going to be saying a lot, following the success of Skylanders Super Swap Force, I can't talk, Toys for Bob was back at it with a 4th game on the lineup. I give you Skylanders Trap Team, released in 2014. This is the game that got me into the series. And their new gimmicks, which are the Trap Masters, which have cool crystal weapons. They do a lot in-game. So that is really cool. I apologize, my phone just vibrated. I'm also using that for my my flashlight here. And so that without it, you guys, the light source is only coming from this side. I need a light source for this side, so I don't have a big light. But anyway, enough about that. There is a new thing brought up. There's 2 Trap Masters for each element. Air, Water, Earth, Life, Tech, Undead, Fire, and Magic. But there were 2 new elements introduced in this game, Light and Dark, with only 1 Trap Master for each. of those elements. But I do have all, what is it, 11, 18 Trap Masters? Yes, 18 Trap Masters. So that is always a good sight. This is my proudest part of this collection is all the Trap Masters, because this is what I was really trying to do back when I started playing Trap Team when it came out in 2014. Ah, the memories. But enough about that. Let's move on to the Series 1 cores. Alright, moving on to the cores. The collection is very missing here. As I only have, let's see, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 out of 18 cores. The interesting thing about the cores in Trap Team are fairly expensive to collect nowadays, because in the game, the elemental gates, which are various areas that need to be unlocked so you can 100% the game, only needed to be opened by the Trap Masters. In case where in other games, every Skylander, no matter if they were Swapper, Giant, Core, whatever it was, could could open these gates. Unfortunately, that is not the case, and Trap Team, not a lot of people went out and bought the cores. There was no reason to, if you were a casual player, which I was at the time, to go out and buy the cores. Meaning I'm missing both water, 1 undead, 1 air, 1 earth, and both light and dark ones. Interestingly enough, the light, dark, and water ones, we call them the Little Three here in this fandom. And their pictures will probably be on screen now. Reason I say that is because they are the most expensive characters in this game to collect. Echo the Water Skylander, Blackout the Dark Skylander, and Spotlight the Light Skylander. All of them they're roughly $130 each, which is crazy to say out loud that people pay for that, and they're just going off eBay prices. Yeah, they are quite a pain to collect, but if I'm lucky, I'll be able to get them. So 11 out of 18, and we're going to move on to our returning Skylanders. Alright, for whatever reason, there were only ever 5 returning Skylanders in Trap Team. The Undead, Earth, and Tech Elements. Yeah, I'd think which ones are still there. The Undead, Earth, and Tech Elements were cut by 1 Skylander each, for whatever reason. And we have, in order, we have a Series 2 Frino, Series 2 Shroom Boom, Series 3 Jetvac, Series 3 Pop Fizz, and the only ever Series 4 character, Gil Grunt, right there. Now, Cinder was supposed to get a Series 4, and probably a couple others were supposed to get Series 4, but for some reason, we only got 5 returning Skylanders, but I do have them all. Alright, on to the minis. Yes, the minis. These are its own category, apparently, as you could play just as the minis in Trap Team. They're no longer just variants of the big guys. Out of the 16 that there are, I only unfortunately have 10 of these. I'm missing both Barkley and Whisper Elf for the Life element, Breeze and Petvac, for the Air element. I'm going off a list. Weeruptor, I believe. Is it Weeruptor? Yeah, Weeruptor for Fire. Again, going off my phone, I apologize. Whisper Elf, and who's the other one? Whisper Elf. And I already said that. Breeze, Petvac. Oh, who's the other one? And Thumbling. There we go. So I'm only missing 6. However, Whisper Elf and Breeze. Is it Breeze? It's not Breeze. It is Breeze. Okay. Whisper Elf and Breeze, I'll put them up there, are also fairly expensive, with Whisper Elf, the Trap Team variant, coming in at around $80, and Breeze being about 300. I'm going off of the SCL shop. Link to them will be in the description. I'm going off their prices for this one, because I know them off the top of my head. But yeah, the minis are going to be even worse to collect. However, I believe in myself. I believe I can do it. But yeah, 10 out of 16. Moving on to, I think, the magic items. Alright folks, magic items. There are 9 of them. 4 of them are level expansions, and 5 of them are in-game buffs. This is how they introduced the new dark and light elements through these expansion packs. They were sold with the Trapmaster of that element, the level pack, and one trap for the light and dark elements. So hence why the cores are really up there in price for those elements. But I do have all 9, so let's move on to... Are we on traps already? No, not yet, not quite yet. Alright, for variants, we have, I believe, 10 out of 15. And you guys can see there, all the ones we got. I am missing a Dark Wildfire, a Gnarly Barkley Mini, King Cobra Kadabra, Legendary Blades, I thought I had. 1 second there, folks. I'm just gonna set the... Oh no, Legendary Blades we have up there. I thought he was magic for a second. Legendary Bushwhack, Nitro Head Rush, Nitro Crypt King, and that is all we're missing. Leaving us with 10 out of 15. I think there's 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yep. So yeah, I will be on the hunt out for the missing items. Moving on to the traps. Alright, we're now moving to the main gimmick of Skylanders Trap Team, which, if you believe it or not, you know, was you could trap villains and you could play as them. And you got these little crystals, and there were 55 of them in total you could collect. 6 for each element, and then 3 for the light and dark elements. Light and dark pretty much got the shaft in every game for whatever reason after they were introduced, except for Imaginators. They were pretty... Not even in Imaginators, they were still a Skylander short. But, anyway, I do have 47 out of the 55 traps. I'm missing 1 Undead Trap, 1 Tech Trap, 2 Life Traps, a Fire Trap, and 2 Light and Dark Traps. 2 and 2, so 4 in total. Now I did 3D print this little trap tray thing for all the traps. 3 traps in particular that are really difficult, well, really up there in price as well, and they are the yawn traps. A picture of them will be on screen now. These were only released, I believe, in Australia. There is a fire yawn, a life yawn, and a light yawn. The light yawn being the more common of the 3, but regardless, each of them are going... The light yawn is about 150, and the earth and fire yawns are around 300 a pop. So quite a jump in price. And then there's a couple that the light and dark traps each are about 50. So quite a price hike for traps, if you will. And a couple that have just eluded my capture. But I will collect them all. I have hope in myself. Moving on to the next big thing. Whoops, I just smacked some off camera. So believe it or not, the traps also got their own variants. I only have 2 of them. There are 11. There is the Ultimate Chaos Trap. Yes, you could trap Chaos in this game. and the Easter Bunny Earth trap. Now, interestingly enough, that leaves 9 more traps. Oh no, that leaves 3 legendary traps, which I don't have. They were only released in with comic books or at Comic-Con. I don't remember which. And then that leaves, let's see, 6 traps. Right, yeah, 6 traps that look the exact same as their element counterparts, but they had special properties. Basically, if you trapped a certain villain with that trap, you can get a new skin for that. I was debating on whether or not to count this, and I have, just because it brings the total up to a nice, even number. But 2 out of 11, that is unfortunate. But with that being said, we're going to move on to Superchargers. Alright, so following the genuinely debatable success of Super Earth Trap Team, Skylanders Superchargers was brought into the party. Now, whether you call this a fun game, whether you don't like the game, is debatable. It is also debated whether this was the start of the downfall of Skylanders, as this game didn't do nearly as well as everybody had hoped. But you gotta think, what's the gimmick pack? You have all these figures, these really fun creatures that are fun to beat up monsters. That's right, we'll let them drive. So driving was the theme of this one, where you have a whopping 20 Superchargers. I'm missing one, unfortunately. There were 2 for each element, plus an extra one for light, or 1 for light and dark, and then an extra one for fire and earth, or light, sorry. I get the 2 mixed up for some reason. And we have our first guest stars, which is Donkey Kong and Bowser. Now, these guys were released with the Wii U version of the game, and could only work on the Wii U version of the game. So that's pretty cool. But I am missing Thrillipede. He is also a fairly expensive character, as he was not released until, I think, the game 2017 in North America. He was released in Europe, not in North America, until 2017. At that point, Skylanders was long dead. He's also fairly expensive, that is why. So 19 out of 20? Alright, and let's see where this journey takes us. Alrighty. And to pair with the 20 Superchargers, we have 20 vehicles. And I did forget to bring this up with the Skylanders that I showed you guys, the actual characters. They did bring back a lot of half the roster is older figures. Now, why those aren't Series 3, or Series 2, 3, 4, and Series 5 in Gogron's case, I'm not sure. I don't know. But they're not considered Series 5. But I do have all 20 vehicles. Go me, yay. Alright, moving on to the variants of these Superchargers. There are 14, I only have half, which is 7. A couple of these, a little bit harder to find, the Power Blue variants especially, but not as expensive as a lot of the other ones. Alright, moving on to the vehicle variant side of things. There are 13, for some reason there's not 14 as well. I only have 5 of them, unfortunately. Now you may be wondering, heck, why is this Hot Streak vehicle in a bag? Technically, if you look at it, there are 5 individual versions of Hot Streak. There's the regular one, Dark Hot Streak. There's an event-exclusive one that was given out at E3. A golden one, which I don't have either of those. And this one. This is from the mobile version of the game. And in order to play the mobile version, you in turn had to buy the mobile starter pack, and it would only work if you used this special version of Hot Streak. So there are 5 Hot Streak individual. Kinda insane, but considering it was the one that came out in the starter pack, pretty cool. But that leaves 5 out of 13 of these vehicles collected. Alright, and finally for Superchargers, I keep forgetting what game we're on for some reason. We have the trophies, or the magic items. Now this would unlock new races and stuff in the races. My nose keeps itching. Ugh, that's why I keep moving the light, guys. You'd get trophies, because Superchargers also doubled as a racing game, so that was pretty cool. There were only 4 released: Land, Sea, Air, and Chaos, and I do have them all, fortunately. The Land one is the very expensive one. It came with Trigger Happy and his vehicle, and they are very expensive because of it. Don't know why, but moving on to the next game. Alrighty, on to the last game in the series, Skylanders Imaginators. Following the disappointment that was Superchargers, as it didn't really sell well, we did get one last game in the series before Activision pulled the plug on Skylanders as a whole, and we have still not received a new game since 2016. But I give you Skylanders Imaginators. I still have the Trapmasters over there, so just ignore them. They like to hang around. However, there were also 20 Imaginator Senseis released. These are not Imaginators, these are Senseis. There's a difference, I'll tell you guys in a second. 2 for each element, 1 for Light and Dark, and a bonus character being Crash Bandicoot and Dr. Neocortex, as this was around the time, I believe, Activision picked up Crash and Cortex. This is also a year before the Insane Trilogy released. So a lot of cool stuff happened. Needless to say, I am missing 6 Senseis. I am missing Wildstorm of the Air Element, Tidepool of the Water Element, both the Tech Element, Chain Reaction, and Robo, Pit Boss of the Undead Element, and Flare Wolf of the Fire Element. If you guys recognize some of those names, that's because Robo and Wildstorm are part of the Big 3. Since Imaginators was the last game of the series, a lot of the figures that came out later are extremely hard to find. Imaginators also did not sell well. So, Wildstorm was the second to last Sensei ever released, making him now $200 by himself. And Robo, being the very last Skylander released, is around $400. Tidepole, Pit Boss, Flare Wolf, and Chain Reaction I just haven't gotten around to collecting yet. So yes, I am still on the lookout. But those are not the most expensive Skyland base set Skylander. Who is? We'll get to that in just a second. But for now, that is 14 out of 20 Senseis. On to the villains. I've switched up the order. Yeah, we're doing the Sensei variants. There are 7 of them. I only have 2. Deal with it. Alright, we're moving on to the Imaginator villains. Now, a lot of the villains from Trap Team all the villains from Trap Team were turned into Senseis in this game, which was a little bit weird. But out of, I believe there's 10, I'm missing one. Yes, I'm missing one. I left him over there on the couch. My bad. Out of 11 villains, that is 1 for each element plus an element, and I will go grab that real quick. Try not to spoil anything. I just set them off to the side. But there was 1 for each element. Bad Juju for air, Graveclobber for water. I don't have Graveclobber, unfortunately. Golden Queen for earth, Chompy Mage for life. Also don't have Chompy Mage. I'll tell you guys why in a second. Dr. Crankcase for tech, Wolfgang for undead, Taekwon Crow for fire, Painata, don't have him, for magic, and Blastertron for light. Chompy Mage is the most expensive Skylander base set character, coming in at a whopping $700, $800, $900. I have seen him on eBay for. Obviously, I'm not taking out a small loan. I didn't take out a loan to buy Chompy Mage, and Chompy Mage was only released on Amazon in a bundle with 5 other villains. Hence why he's pretty rare, as he was only released in a bundle and you could only get him on Amazon. So that sucks. But that's only 10. You may be asking, Pack, who's the 11th? None other than Chaos himself. Why they did this, I don't know. But anyway, we're going to move on to the Sensei, or the villain variants, which, believe me guys, is the biggest collection I have so far. Are you all ready for every villain variant there is? This is the largest group of the collection so far. Here we go. Voila! Not a single one, baby! Alright, folks, time to get on to the main gimmick of Imaginators. These things. These are creation crystals. In Imaginators, the gimmick was, you create your own Skylanders. That's what Activision said. Toys for Bob said was going to be their last-ditch idea if the series got canceled. And so they pulled that out, and Imaginators didn't sell well, obviously. Okay, one second. Just got a text. Lovely. Gotta read that text. Okay, we're good. Alright, lovely. I know this could not be more fail, I guess. Alright, so I don't know what the original plan was for this. My thought process is there were supposed to be 3 creation crystals for each element. 3 for each. 5 of those creation crystals remained unreleased, along with one other variant of another character. Remained unreleased. I don't know if the game was canceled before they released in a wave, or they were just axed from the beginning. Hence why some of these only have 2. Some of these are supposed to have 3. I am missing a couple. Somehow Life got 4. I'm not quite sure how that is. And forgive me ahead of time, I'm not sure which crystals I'm missing. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. I have 24 out of 26 crystals. So I'm missing 2. I think one's a dark and one's a light. But I could be very wrong. So I do apologize if I am wrong. But without further ado, let's go on to the... Yeah, I did not know. I'm not that informative. I'm not as informative on Imaginators. I'm not actually... I wanted nothing to do with this game when it first came out. And you guys will see why when we get to the magic items. But so far, that is 24 out of 26 creation crystals. Alright, so 3 creation crystals got legendary treatment. A light crystal, it's not going to focus, magic crystal, and Life got another crystal. So that is 5 in total that Life got. But these are all the variants for the creation crystals. I do, luckily, have all of them. Alright, and for the last category of Imaginators, we have the magic items. We got the Griffin Park Observatory and the Elven Forest, I believe they're called. And we have these things. Those are the levels. Then we have these things. In the game, there are these chests. There are the regular chests. And then there are Imaginite chests. They contain items for you to make your own Imaginator Skylanders. You could go out and buy blind bags which contained one of these 3 chests. Put them on the portal, get the reward, and these things would never work again. It is the stupidest thing, in my opinion. Why would you even do something like that? Yes, Toys to Life is already a greedy kind of thing, but this is on a new level. Like, this is why I didn't want anything to do with the series after Superchargers. Superchargers was at least cool. They had a really good story. The gimmick was terrible. The story was really good. But regardless, I have 7 magic items. The last 2 are blue chests, which I guess are the best ones. Sure, we're going to go with that. Haha, you thought the video was over. It isn't. Because there's one more category. There's not another game, but there's one more category of figures we have to go over. And that is, oh my gosh, I keep doing that, Eon's Elite. Now these were figures released during Trap Team and Superchargers. They were basically reposes of some of the original 32 Skylanders. Which pretty much had triple health and did triple damage. I only have one. They are crazy expensive. But there are 14 in total. Now, we'll get on to the totals and see how we're doing. Ooh, did I just pull the same trick twice? Yes, I did. I did want to show you guys the difference, how you could tell the difference if you were hunting Skylanders and want to complete a certain game or collection, or these things were just part of your childhood. Here's how to tell which game they came from. Spyro's Adventure had green bases. Giants had orange bases. Swap Force had blue bases. Trap Team had red. Superchargers had these weird engine style. And of course it's not going to focus, so I can't really show you. But they had engine style bases. And Imaginators were boring. Eon's Elite, though, had clear bases. So that's pretty cool. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now the grand total is in. In total, for what I'm trying to collect, base set, Spyro's Adventure has 54. Giants has 70. Swap Force, 84. Eon's Elite, 14. Trap Team, a whopping 147. Superchargers, 71. Imaginators, 80. I have 54 from Spyro's Adventure. That collection is complete. 63 in Giants, meaning 7 are left. 82 from Swap Force, meaning 2 are left. 1, meaning 13 are left from Eon's Elite. Trap Team, I have 112, meaning 35 are left. In Superchargers, I have 55, 16 are left. And in Imaginators, I have 55, meaning 25 are left. In total, that leaves us with a nice, even 520 items for the collection. I have collected, drumroll please, 422 Skylanders so far. Meaning, we just have 98 left to collect. Alright. So when we get down to 75, we'll probably do another one of these videos. But, yeah. The collection, I'm planning to get this collection done by the end of 2026. Whether that's going to happen or not, Chonky Mage, Wildstorm, and Robo, Freeze, Thrillipede, Spotlight, Blackout, and Echo, of course, are going to be the tough ones to collect. But my camera battery's about to die, so with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I will see all of you in the next one. Bye-bye!